There are more clothing brands being made in a single day than kids being born in a day. So if you're in a position where you think your clothes can sell just because your product's unique, your clothes are unique, your brand has this XYZ meaning, and the most stupid shit I've heard is my family and friends like your product, so that means, my brand has huge potential. I'm sorry to tell you, but you are completely delusional. Now, I might sound like an absolute fucking dickhead right now, but this is something I've realized after working with 150 clothing brands in the past 3 years, and personally worked with some of the biggest names in the industry like Flower, Bremer, Pluto Golf. I realized a very specific pattern. More competition every single year, more similar brands being produced every single year with the clothing and the meaning of the brand, and most importantly, more brands fighting for that same attention. Now, you hear this and some people may think, oh, this is such an oversaturated niche and just give up. And for the other 99% of the people, they look at this and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking what worked with brands in 2019 will work with brands right now in 2026 and obviously fail. But for me, I see 2026 as one of the biggest opportunities for small clothing brand owners to take leverage. Because in 2026, people don't just buy for the product and the brand status anymore from big brands. The easiest way to say it, they buy from brands that actually provide the right value to them specifically. So in this video today, I'm gonna give you my 3 main principles going to 2026 that will completely change your clothing brand and how you look at it. This will give you leverage to scale and most importantly, actually stand out from the fluff, stand out from the rest of your crowd and stand out from your competition moving forward. So let's get straight into it. The phase 1 is selling to a hyper-specific ideal customer profile, an ICP. And when I mention that, and when I say who are you actually selling to, let's just say you have a gym brand, for example, right? People mostly just say, oh, I sell to teenagers who likes to go to the gym. In 2026, that will not work anymore. Because let me ask you this, okay? Theoretically, if you have a gym brand, why the fuck would anybody buy from your gym brand and Gymshark? Right? You can't give me that answer. Oh, you can say, oh, my product quality is this, my product stands for, let's just say, this type of community, my product is for mental health, but quite frankly, nobody gives a fuck, right? If people are looking for gym clothes, right, and that's what you sell, they're gonna go to Gymshark. So the question is, how do you actually create that leverage between your massive competitors, not even have to be Gymshark, like these other bigger brands that are in your niche, to you specifically for this brand, because we cannot sell clothes just by selling the same clothes and saying it's different. That's not how it works. And the easiest way to do this is by getting real specific with who the fuck we actually sell to. Because let me give you an example, right? Okay, gonna go off this gym example for a bit. Okay, let's just say I have a gym brand, right? But instead of, our characteristic of, oh, we're targeting 18 to 30-year-olds who go to the gym, who like go to the gym. Imagine we're targeting 18 to 20-year-olds who go to the gym past 11 p.m., who is below 5'4", who once has aspirations and ambition to go pro bodybuilding, right? Who's insecure about the body, who wants to provide for the family, who actually, cares about themselves, right? And for their future, right? Now, the thing is, right, we got real specific situation to our specific ICP, 5'4", ambitious, people that go to the gym late at night, right? So what this can tell us is finally from our marketing, from our angle, we can actually identify ourselves as a solution to those ICP. Okay, so for example, instead of just selling compression shirt, we can market and angle our product to serve the people that we're trying to target. So for example, if a 5'4" guy has problem with finding the right compression shirt, our brand, our specific compression shirt can be known for those 5'4" people who are super ambitious, right? Who admires the high quality and fits perfectly for them. Now, by going into the hyper specific into the certain ICP, we've created leverage between Gymshark and our brand, because now there's a small certain type of group that will actually value from us by choosing our brand over big brands like Nike, Gymshark, Under Armour, all that type of stuff, because we've gone to a specific type of audience, we've characterized a very specific ICP, right, and provided a solution to those ICP. Quite frankly, we've created that massive leverage and the gap between our competitors by giving them a solution to a very specific audience. And quite frankly, this automatically sets your brand apart so far ahead from the rest of the bullshit brands that start up every single day. And your big competitors as well. Because quite frankly, you're not competing with Gymshark anymore. You're not competing with these shitty gym brands anymore. You're competing by yourself. You just create your own market. Let me ask you this, right? If you have a hip problem, for example, right? Which doctor will you go to solve it? Number one, Dr. One, where he's very good all around, right? He fixes shoulders, arms, back, legs, everything. Or would you go to Dr. Two, where he just works on people's hips, right? Obviously, you're going to go to Dr. Two because he specializes on a specific pain point that you're dealing with. And that is the same thing with clothing, because at the end of the day, there's two main things to a brand, right? And the main thing is the product, right? Which is quite frankly the value we provide to the market. If we provide value to everybody, then the value diminishes. So by going very specific, hyper-specific with an ISP, for example, that analogy I've given you, right? Going into 5'4" males, right? Males who want to go pro bodybuilding. And the reason why I added pro bodybuilding is because they actually care about quality. They sweat a lot, meaning they train a lot, right? So putting that in our marketing, right? Because we realize they want to go pro bodybuilders, but they struggle with finding the right clothes because they're so short, right? This might be a bullshit example, but you get the point, right? They're so short, right? And finding that. And sort of that analogy I gave you before about the doctors, same thing, right? The people that have a specific problem they go to, they're going to go to you over Gymshark or anybody else, even though you may be small, because that doesn't matter, because you provided direct value to them, because we understand our direct ICP. Why? Because we really niche down on it. There are three things I need you to do, okay, in phase one. Number one is work out your customer characteristics, which are basically your ideal customer, okay? And it doesn't have to be just because, Nike targets athletes. That doesn't mean they just sell to athletes. Fuck no, they sell to everyone. But we need to get real specific in terms of characteristics, like the examples I've given you before, right? Getting specifics with 11 p.m., 5'4" males who go to gym past 11 p.m., who's insecure, is ambitious, wants to make it for the family. You get the point. And number two is you actually want to segment these into what I like to call audience segmentation. So from that characteristics, what type of audience can we label them as? So for me, that type of thing, I sort of get athletes, obviously, up and coming bodybuilders, could be entrepreneurs because they're ambitious and they work hard for themselves and their family, right? Again, those are the type of audience segments. And after you've got your audience segments done, you want to go into the pain points. What are the daily pain points your audience might face? So from the three examples I've given you, from the athlete, the up-and-coming bodybuilders, entrepreneurs, for example, bodybuilders, they're short, so they might find, other brands doesn't fit very well for the body because they're below the average height, all that type of stuff, right? Just by going very hyper-specific with the ISP, you see how we just demonstrated a whole new realm of daily pain points. This is super important because, quite frankly, our pain points are used everywhere on how we market and angle our brand. Now, pillar two is sort of in relation to pillar one. So pillar one, we talked about getting very specific and hyper-specific ICP. Pillar two is about providing a specific solution to an ICP. So there's a saying, right? And this is, if you understand this sentence I'm about to say, you're going to understand everything, and everything's just going to come so much easier. Your product needs to provide a direct solution or an indirect solution to your specific customer, okay? I'm going to say that one more time. Your product needs to provide a direct solution or an indirect solution to your specific customer, okay? And I'm going to give you some examples so you understand this a bit better. So let's just say we're in the cycling niche. Again, another bullshit example I've come up in my head. Okay, let's just say we're in the cycling niche, okay? A direct solution that our product can provide is maybe wind resistance, right? That's a direct thing that your customer can see and value. And why it works and why it solves a pain point is because we understand our ICP, right? A hyper-specific ICP, which are cyclists who's a competitor, whatever it is, right? But we sell wind resistance. So that's a direct one because from the customer point of view and in our marketing and our angles, we can directly see that the product can solve it, right? Now, the second thing, because not all products solve a direct problem, like streetwear stuff. Streetwear, for example, if I'm in a streetwear brand, my sort of indirect solution to that ICP could be it gives them status, right? Gives them that emotional support, status, and confidence, right? That's still a solution because, quite frankly, your customers don't buy through logic. No one does. No one buys shit through logic, okay? Even if you think you're a logical person, I can guarantee you 100% make buying decision off emotion. This is why we need to understand what our ICP's daily pain points are and provide a solution to that, right? So for example, a streetwear brand, right, might might provide a solution by giving them confidence, emotional status, all that type of stuff. And quite frankly, the easiest way to find your brand solution is related to your daily pain points of your ICP. Okay, for example, if I'm going off the streetwear niche, right, what are the daily pain points that they may face, right? Trying to fit in, right? Trying to be like their favorite celebrity, trying to be like their favorite athlete, right? Fit into pop culture, right? They want to fit in with their friends, right? What are their friends wearing, right? All this type of stuff are psychologically related in their brain, right? So they want to fit in. If we provide that solution to them with our streetwear products in terms of, for example, if I'm selling like a fucking hoodie or a streetwear hoodie, right? And we have fucking Zion Williamson, these NBA players wearing it, and he wants to be like the NBA, look cool, have that status, the brand association to it, that still provides a solution, but in an indirect way, right? So those are the two different things that you work at. And most importantly, you need to work out what type of solution you provide to ICP. Is it direct or is it indirect? Because the way you go about it is very different. But the main thing that I want to present in phase 2 is provide a specific solution, even if it's direct or indirect, and be known as a brand and focus all your marketing angle towards that solution. Okay, last pillar, this is probably the most important thing, okay, because you can have the most fucking amazing ICP, you can have the most fucking amazing product solution, and actually stand out from the rest of your competitor. If you do, good job. But if you don't have systems in place that can get your messaging across to the right people, then nothing matters. And this sort of pillar is going to be called freestyle versus systems. Because quite frankly, like most of the brand owners that I talk to that are struggling to hit that first 3, 4, 5, whatever the fuck they want, right? They freestyle. They completely freestyle this acquisition aspect. Because there's two main sides to a brand. Number one is the product, right? The brand foundation, all that type of stuff we talked about. And the product, the value we provide to our market. And number two is the acquisition side, which is quite frankly how we say is how do we get our value seen by the right people, which is the acquisition side. And quite frankly, that is most important because we can have the best solution in the world. We can have the best product in the world that serves that ICP. But if we don't have a system or a reliable system that can get to that position where we can get consistent attention by the right people, consistent traffic to your website by the right people, then nothing matters. And what I've seen after obviously working with 150 clothing brands past 3 years is that most brand owners, they just give shit a go and they expect sales. And they don't put the time to actually learn the proper skills, acquire the proper knowledge within the business aspect to make this work. They just think if they have the most amazing product, which they probably don't, that's the end of it, right? Especially in 2026, you need proper systems. All the brand owners that know the skill set, are running ads and all that type of stuff, are going to 100% outcompete you and outbeat your brand. If you learn the ad operation sides of how to bring in traffic, how to bring in sales through ads and all that type of stuff, if you learn them yourself then as a brand owner, I can guarantee you that you are going to be 99, actually 100% ahead of your competition. And the funny thing is, it only takes 1 full month of your full time and dedication to learn the ads. Right? And not many people will do that because they don't think it's important and they wonder why they're struggling every single month on their business, on why it's not growing. Because again, I'm going to say it one more time, okay? If you don't have the right ad systems, right? A creative system, all those systems that apply in the back end side of things, you can have the best product, but no one is going to know about it. All right, I know I broke a lot in this video, but just consuming information and actually implementing the information are two different things. If you're one of those brand owners who are actually serious about growing their clothing brand in 2026, I made a full training on how to scale your brand from 0 to 10K a month with ads. Link in bio. It's completely free value. It's around 45 minutes to an hour. It's going to change your brand. And secondly, if you want me and my team to actually give you a full audit on your brand, see what the bottlenecks are, what the solutions are, book a call down below with me and my team so we can actually help you out. But other than that, hope you got some good value out of it. Take it, implement it, because you've just wasted your time if you just watched this and you haven't done shit.